The city was as one at that time, as one, and politically we were getting battered, you know, between the governments at the time and the city, there was a contempt, you know, from both sides, you know. This city had been blitzed in the 80s, there was hardly any work. So there was it was more, yeah, they had a great bond as a Scouse thing, and something like that, when that happens, you know, all the rivalry and all the colours are laid down, and the Scouseness takes over.
Very clannish in many ways, the city. Over the years we've stuck together through thick and thin, mostly thin. You know, when we've had to battle against central government, not giving nothing to the city over the years, and you know, everyone came together, which you'd expect. And if it was the other way around with Everton, not a problem. Liverpoolians would have been right there to help them out. So I expected that. You know, it's football's out the window. This is Liverpool as a city. This is the people of Liverpool to get together, and the Evertonians never let us down. It was really, really tough on everyone. We went to funerals daily, you know. I went to 11 funerals, I think, in less than a week. You know, there was kids, there was dads and kids, there was sisters, 2 sisters, there was 2 brothers. And it was horrendous. It really was, everyone, you know, and then it built up to walk on at the end, and it was really, really hard, you know, to think that people had gone to a football match and, you know, not come back.
A lot was asked of the players, and the players did it gladly anyway, you know, to try and help the bereaved, because it's amazing how much comfort can be taken from someone who's a mere player type of thing, which I found difficult to comprehend, because, you know, having lost someone you love, the fact that a footballer is going to come to the funeral, come to the house and visit would mean nothing to me. I've lost my son type of thing, you know. But of course, they took so much comfort from it.
We were asked to counsel people, you know, families, relations of the bereaved, which, to try and make them feel better, that was hard, but it had to be done.
I'd like to say that Kenny Dalglish was very, very special around about that time. Both Kenny and his wife Marina, they were fantastic for the fans. You know, they attended, along with the other players, you know, they attended, you know, one funeral after another. They supported the fans as much as they could. But Kenny was the leader at that time. It's been very, very difficult for him.
You have to understand how important family is to Kenny. It's the most important thing in his life, always has been. His own family, so he recognises how important family is to other people, and the importance of family generally. So there couldn't be another person, as bad as it sounds, who would be more suited to a situation like that than Kenny Dalglish, to show empathy and compassion, because, you know, he recognises the value of family, the importance of family, and he was just incredible throughout.
Looking back at it now, it was hard, really, really tough, but I think we should have got counselling afterwards. We should have been counselled afterwards, as the players, and it scarred us for life, having seen what happened. And deal with it in the manner which we did, and which had to be done. But I think we needed a little bit of help afterwards, certain people. Even, you know, Kenny retired not long after as well. So, but it was really hard times for everyone. And, you know, when you speak to the families, it was heart-rending that, you know, the son went to the match, the sisters, the brothers, you know, the daughters went to the game, and some women lost the son and the husband. Unthinkable.
Was it the Monday or the Tuesday, I can't remember, after that Saturday, that the Sun newspaper came out, and, you know, I mean, like everybody else, I mean, just felt absolutely outraged by it. But it was, you know, it was just so clear what was going on in terms of, you know, this kind of conspiracy that was going on to blame the Liverpool fans.
The truth in their eyes was that Liverpool fans were drunk at the game, that they kicked down a gate. There were some horrendous things in that newspaper at that time. They said that Liverpool fans had urinated on the dead, that they'd stolen from the dead.
It's so bizarre. It's so appalling. And yet, These people were lying in hospital beds having to read those sort of headlines, and they were clearly lies.
You know, we hadn't even buried our dead, and he came out with something obscene, and that was the classic smear campaign. And whoever decided at the top level to cover this thing and exonerate the police was obviously instrumental in getting that headline out. And although it was detracted, it done what it was meant to do, which was cast a smear and throw mud and mud sticks.
You know, immediately the focus shifts from where responsibility really lies on this occasion onto those people who, well, let's talk, I mean, they were at Heysel, weren't they? They were fighting on the terraces. That led to the death of 39 people in there. You know what they're like. You know what football fans are like. And these are football fans with knobs on. These are Liverpool football fans. They're always fighting and you know, that whole operation grinds into action. And so they're immediately characterised as the worst kinds of people you can imagine.
I actually read that headline on the way back down to Hillsborough because part of the drop-in centres that were going on there, the psychologists, and they invited everyone who wanted to go back onto coaches to go back down to Hillsborough. I was encouraged to go down that day. So I got on the coach, and it was on the way down to there that somebody had bought a newspaper and it was passed around the coach. So then, you know, when we got to Leppings Lane, we were all very, very angry at being, you know, at being blamed for it, really, and the pickpocketing and the particular stories that came out. So when I got back down there, we were all, not only were we confused, kind of lost souls, but we were very angry as well, and I felt like everyone hated us as well, so, you know, that made us even worse.
We were on our knees, you know, holding our arms out for help. And it's just like someone coming along spitting on you and kicking you, you know, in your hour of need like that. And that's one thing that will never ever be forgiven, not in this city. That will go on and on.
We haven't got the backing of a big newspaper to come back and hit them back like that, you know. The only thing we could hit them by is not buying the Sun. And that's what we've done.
The strength of feeling doesn't diminish. We don't believe the Sun will ever get a foothold on Merseyside ever again. It's made lots of attempts, as you well know. It won't succeed, ever.
Celtic, there's always been a great affinity with the two clubs. It was amazing, the Memorial Game it's called, isn't it? It was an amazing time to go there. There's never been a problem with Liverpool and Celtic. You know, they're two massive Celtic cities, and there was no big deal. I mean, some of them sing for Man United, but we let them off with that, because when we go there, they're as good as gold, and when they come here, they have a great time. So it was probably appropriate that it was Celtic who, you know, basically opened the doors and held out their arms and said, yeah, come and have this Memorial Game. The
Memorial Game at Parkhead actually was one of my biggest healing moments. 4 of us who were at Hillsborough, my mate Ian had a customised VW Beetle, and it was red, and he had white wall tyres. And he went out that morning, he bought that sticky back plastic that you can peel off that was on Blue Peter and stuff, and he bought a white sheet of it, and he'd done a liver bird, an LFC, and put it on the bonnet. And we all went to Walton Hall Market and bought cagoules, Liverpool cagoules, and they had 5 of each. And we sat in the car and drove 5 o'clock in the morning and drove to Glasgow with the Beach Boys on. And just sat there and all the way in our colours, wearing the colours, and we got into Glasgow, and people were clapping us in the streets. And
the Celtic end at the time was called the Jungle. You know, it was all Saracen. and it was called The Jungle. It was like our old cop, you know. And we went on The Jungle, and it was just amazing, you know. They